the 10th episode of WTV. I'm Sydney. On this episode, an inside scoop on a Hollywood movie producer who calls Omaha his home, and a few Westside students discuss some controversial topics occurring throughout our community. But first, a club that looks to make Westside a more integrated school. Caroline and Laurel have more.
Project Unify is acceptance, unity, fun, friendship, and youth-driven. This motto, along with much more, build the foundation to the club that has grown at Westside High School. Project Unify advisor Jenny Brockman describes what this club is at Westside.
Project Unify is an extension of Special Olympics, and it is a student-initiated project. It's typically kids in general education just coming to hang out and have fun with kids with special needs.
One student in particular was very influential in establishing this group for students.
Maddie Ryan was one of the students who came and got the whole program rolling. And it's very, very student-initiated and student-run.
Started by Ryan and other students, Project Unify was the first of its kind in Nebraska and was continued because of what it offers.
There's no reason why anyone with any sort of mental or physical handicap should not experience the same things in high school. And so Project Unify allows everyone to be friends no matter what your abilities are.
A group of close to 70 meet on a regular basis. Through activities and liveliness, friendships are created that affect one another like nothing else could.
The people that participate are so elated and happy about life that you become the same way.
For WTV, this has been Laurel and Caroline.
This competition season, Westside High School's amazing Technicolor show choir has been on a winning streak. They are undefeated in this year's season and are looking forward to their biggest competition, Fame, in Orlando, Florida. Show choir director Doran Johnson has helped the team to success in these competitions.
And we do a lot of goal setting, we do a lot of work in rehearsal, and then I think it's targeting those things in rehearsal. And we had a whole week before we went to Lincoln Southwest contest where we had silent rehearsals. No one spoke in those rehearsals, and the focus and the attention to detail was so awesome during that time.
With their biggest competition fast approaching, senior dance captains Parker Grogan and Hannah Frankel feel the pressure of being undefeated.
A lot of time and effort has been put into it, and our season has been so great. Being undefeated and things like that, and just getting so much recognition around the town about it. Just living up to those expectations is a scary experience, but I think we're ready.
Yeah, but being nervous about a competition almost makes it more fun.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think it's good to be a little nervous.
Not only do they have class 4 times a week, they also have boot camps to perfect their show. Coming off their win at Swingin' on the River Show Choir Invite in Hastings, Minnesota, ATSC is even more excited for Fame. For WTV, this has been Cassie and Shallon.
Students in the Omaha Public School District can get a head start on their career while still in high school. Juniors and seniors from all OPS high schools can enroll in a variety of classes to help prepare them for their future. Timothy Hoffman, director of the Omaha Career Center, oversees all the classes.
They have a lot of real life experiences, the automotive service equipment and the medical settings where they learn how to work with patients, and there's a lot of different opportunities for the students to learn more about a career that they think they might be interested in.
Students have the opportunity to experiment with different career options.
Students get to see what it's really like, to be involved with these different careers. Sometimes when you look at a career, you see the glamour and the excitement of a career, but don't see the other tasks and jobs that have to be done.
Along with taking classes at the Career Center, students study at their normal high school. Spending half the day at the Career Center can be an adjustment for some students.
One of the things that students say they're most concerned about when they first sign up for the Career Center is they don't really want to leave that circle of friends. Well, what happens is they meet new friends. That's the thing that they say they like the best about the Career Center.
For WTV, this has been Bridget.
From making home movies as a child to producing major Hollywood blockbusters such as The Haunting in Connecticut, film director Tom Elkins has turned his hobby of filmmaking into a career.
I'm one of those guys that was making little movies even when I was like 10 years old. So when I was a kid, I was making 8mm films and videotapes just around my house and around the neighborhood. and I just never stopped.
Elkins knows being able to balance Hollywood and normal everyday life for his family is a necessity.
We ended up staying in Omaha because now the kids were older and they were kind of, sort of ensconced in their school, and we had grown to love the neighborhood and the schools and our friends, and it became more of a choice to stay in Omaha at that point rather than before when it was a necessity.
Elkins faces challenges that come with working in LA while living in Omaha.
The biggest challenge of having to sort of commute between LA and Omaha really is, it's two things. It's being away from the family and friends, which is not great. You hate that. You miss things that are happening, and especially with the kids, it just kills you when you have to miss a concert or an event. That's never fun. So emotionally, that's the hard part, is when you have to be away from your family. Functionally, it's just all the travel. You have to go to LA and you have to have this apartment and you have to have this sort of like this home away from home kind of thing. And, it's just sort of cumbersome to have to fly home for this and that, and there's not very many direct flights out of Omaha, so the travel can be hard sometimes. But on the upside of it, though, the family loves to come to wherever I am, whether it's LA or Vancouver, BC, or Baton Rouge, where we filmed the last movie. So there's perks to it, too. There's perks to traveling elsewhere.
With the Honey in Connecticut 2 completed, Elkins looks forward to his next project. For WTV, this has been Kate and Jordan.
Thanks, Kate and Jordan. Next, a final wrap-up of the wrestling season. But first, Corey takes a look at a West Side student who has excelled both on the stage and the baseball field.
Is anything ever the way it seems?
Three-year ATSC member and West Side senior Will Fry has been a crucial part of the success of this award-winning show choir.
Will's been in ATSC for 3 years, and he brings in a lot of experience, especially this year, having been through this journey 3 times. He kind of knows what the process is. A cheerleader, kind of an encourager, kind of, let's go get it, let's set our goals, and let's work to achieve them. Never, ever heard Will be negative. He's always positive. He's always building somebody up. He's always saying, yeah, we can do this. Never know that's too hard.
Aside from being a performer on stage, Fry is also a returning starter on Westside's varsity baseball team.
Try to bring some leadership, especially this year. The seniors last year taught us some great things. They were great guys to look up to, so I'm hoping that I can do the same this year.
Fry's versatility and leadership is a key asset to this year's team. Westside head coach Bob Greco recognizes the impact Fry has on the team.
So, it's nice to have someone that can play 3 different positions. As a coach, you're looking for someone that's going to be an extension of the coaching staff when you look for a leader, and he's very good at that. He understands what we want to accomplish. He picks things up quickly, and as I said before, the kids follow him, the kids listen to him.
I'm in 2 things that traditionally conflict, being in baseball and show choir, and I have a passion for both, and I'm excelling in both.
The show choir season wrapping up and baseball underway, Fry looks to finish out the year strong. For WTV, this has been Corey.
From daily after-school practices to early morning tournaments, the wrestling season has finally come to a close. Varsity wrestler Brady Novak says that the team put in a tremendous amount of effort throughout the entire season.
I know a lot of teams do a hell week, which is like a week of 2 days and conditioning and a lot of tough stuff, but we do that for 3 weeks, starting at 6:45 every morning. And we do a lot of really intense workouts, not just during preseason, but during the entire season as well.
Throughout their journey, Westside competed in 6 tournaments and 5 duels, in addition to metros, districts, and for some, even state. Head coach Michael Jernigan agrees that the team put in a lot of hard work, but would have liked to see a better performance overall.
We had 4 qualifiers from district. You have to place in the top 4 of your district, and we had 4 guys come through, and then went on to state, scored points. Didn't finish last. This is the 2nd year in a row, which is my longest streak to where we haven't had a state medalist, and that's not good as a coach.
Looking back at the season, Novak can see room for improvement in the upcoming years.
The first round of districts was tough because a lot of the guys just weren't prepared for the level of competition we were going to be going up against, and the intensity in districts and in state was on a completely new level that a lot of the guys hadn't seen before.
Although the team didn't come as far as they would have hoped, Jernigan sees potential in the younger wrestlers.
A lot of underclassmen are returning for next year, which is encouraging. But we need to improve. We need to wrestle during the springtime. We need to wrestle during summer. We need to find the weight room, and we need to get better at wrestling. I think we have the characteristics of being a good wrestler, but now we just have to get good at wrestling.
For WTV, this has been Sydney.
As the winter swim season is coming to an end, freshman Elizabeth Amato Hanner has been clearly excelling in the pool.
Well, my mom, she swam, so she really wanted me to start. And I started with Summer League, and I wasn't very good, but I swam for like 4 years and then got better and joined Swim Omaha. I remember I was like 6, and I don't think I finished my first race. I think I had to stop and get out.
Westside varsity swim coach and club coach for Amato Hanner, Doug Kreklow, talks about how Elizabeth is easily placed in all different events.
Elizabeth is capable of swimming all 4 strokes at virtually any distance, and it makes it a lot simpler being able to place her in certain events based upon what the team needs.
Along with excelling on the boards for this year's Westside State team, Amato Hanner also has plans for after the high school season.
We have some big meets coming up after the state high school meet, so hopefully what we've done during the last 4 months will carry over to what she needs to do in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Amato Hanner entered the high school state meet seated very high in her events. She has really enjoyed her first high school season as a freshman and says her teammates and coaches impact her swims.
Everyone's so supportive, and everyone cheers, and yeah.
Amato Hanner was very pleased with how she finished at the state meet, as she won the 200 individual medley and placed 3rd in the 100 fly.
I really like the competitiveness of it. I really like winning.
For WTV, this has been Hannah.
Thanks, Hannah. Next, Noah talks to a local meteorologist who gives his predictions on future weather patterns.
In Omaha, it is said that the weather can change in a matter of minutes, but more often than not, there's a general weather pattern for the city. However, the number of days we have spent away from the average temperature is greater in the last few months than in the last few years. According to meteorologist Bill Ramby, the changes we have seen in our weather recently should not be looked upon as a change in our year-to-year climate.
The fact that we've had some dry and warmer weather is not that unusual over the context of thousands of years, but certainly has been dry, and there is a real fear that drought is going to become established and be a big problem over the next decade or two. And a lot of the climatologists in the area are concerned about that, and it's a worry that that's a trend happening and continuing for a few years. The most recent 30-year block, which was 1980 to 2010, was warmer than the prior 30 years. So if you look at our average high and low temperature, it's milder now than it was 10, 20 years ago.
While it may not seem seasonal outside, these last few years can be counted as part of a cycle. For WTV, this has been Noah.
There's such a little chance of actually making it as an actor in the theater world. There's more of a chance of you getting a gig as like light, sound, construction. So I feel like this is a great way to open a door for a new perspective on theater.
Senior Aaron Boyle states the unfortunate reality of theater. However, Westside now offers a class that can introduce students to this other side of plays. Theater teacher Jeremy Stoll was the man behind the idea.
In the actual producing of the play, the technical aspects. So it's designing and building sets, designing and running lights, sound, the fly system, costume, makeup, all of that stuff.
Not only will students be able to learn about the other side of plays, but they will be able to contribute to the production of the school plays in a different way. Next year, students will contribute to Westside Theater by building the sets for the competitive one-act plays. With the plans laid down for the class over the next few years, stage manager Audrey Leclue is happy about the way the class is going.
It's really interesting and I've really enjoyed it so far. You get to know like the tools to making like set construction. You get to know, or we will get to know like the lighting design and like sound design and costume design and all that kind of stuff, and it's really cool. I really like it.
For WTV, this has been Olivia and Sandra.
The views expressed in the following are solely those of the students involved. They do not necessarily represent the views of Warrior Television or Westside Community Schools.
Hello and welcome to the Roundtable, where students have real conversations to inform, educate, and entertain you on problems students face today. On this edition, Corey, Carly, Sydney, and Aaron discuss their opinions on standardized testing and academic Adderall abuse.
In my opinion, I'm an awful test taker. At ACTs, it's not even testing our intelligence, it's testing how fast you can take a test, which is...
But I think, like, I understand that it's not testing your intelligence necessarily, but like when you go to college and then pass that, neither is real life, really.
Actually, one test out of 4 years of high school determine, you know, if you get in or if you don't, or how much money you receive, or, you know, stuff like that.
But they consider more other things. Yeah. It's not like, and even when you like apply to college and you see like the list, SAT or ACT is always like third on the like the most important.
But then like scholarships are the most astounding, like the highest 36.
Right,
for
but
ACT.
hopefully you don't walk in and be like, gosh, I just need to get this done. Like you should walk in knowing like, this is my future, like take everything that you've ever learned and then apply it to this one test. But you also need to know that that's not like the basis of whether or not you get in.
Yeah, because there's other things.
Yeah.
Like GPA.
But at the same, also, like my mom always says this, I took an ACT test prep class, but for my parents and stuff, the ACT, you just go in, I told you not to study, like you just go in, take it, and you don't even take it more than once.
My parents say that too, like when they took it, like it wasn't a big deal. Like it was something that you like kind of had to do, but like it wasn't that big of a deal.
To have been taking it every year since 7th grade.
It's all, I don't know,
It's all a strategy. That's all it is, which life is a strategy. So literally it's setting you up to learn how to like do well at things that you're not necessarily the best at, which is what you should know how to do. I think it's a great test, and it's not intelligence, and I think colleges and like people like that know it. It's not intelligence. Your GPA, your class rank, like your activities are like you, and then your ACT is like how well you can adapt to learning something and answering a question about it extremely quickly.
I'm not allowed to use steroids in football, you know, that enhance my muscular abilities.
But you know.
Why should you enhance your?
But you would be able to if you had a problem. You would use medicine.
If you need
the Adderall.
If you need it, you by all means. But if you're using it and you have if you're buying it from a friend or
Carly was saying earlier, ACT tests your like ability to get ready for the future and all that. But when you're on Adderall, that's not testing your ability. It's testing your ability when you're on drugs.
Yeah,
it's
like a boost.
Yeah, it's not like, are you gonna always be on Adderall every single day when you're in?
It's a stimulant.
So when you take these tests, you already have like the information in your head. Adderall's not gonna like, it's not gonna like make you know more. It's not like a magic drug that'll give you all the
answers. You take a steroid, it enhances your muscle ability. You already know how to lift. All steroids do is improve your stamina and endurance. And testosterone build, which is Adderall for your brain.
And I do think it's unfair because like you already know that knowledge, but like such a large part of the ACT is finishing in that time, and like kids like that don't finish, and all Adderall does is speed up your thought process and like makes you focus on what you're like trying to like write down. So like I do think it's unfair, but it's also illegal.
What's the difference between like an ADHD person taking it and then somebody else taking it? Would they have the same amount of focus?
No. It brings them up to a regular level.
Thanks for joining the round table. For WTV, this has been Caroline.
How well do you know your school? Think you can recognize these teachers? Give it a try. Teacher number 1 wants to travel to every national forest. Teacher number 2 enjoys raising her own chickens. Teacher number 3 enjoys playing and coaching volleyball. Teacher number 4 often gets mistaken for Steve from Blue's Clues.
Mr. Moore.
Mrs. Wegner.
Looks like Jessica Foss.
It's Mr. Jocelyn.
Thanks for playing. For WTV, this has been Maddie. Thanks, Maddie. That's it for this episode. Make sure you tune in next time for a preview of the upcoming spring sports.